personalities. Larry, we want to say thank you for your viewing loyalty. We owe it to you on this platform, Ben TV, the first ethnic satellite TV station in the UK. And of course, today we got quite an interesting package for you on this program. We're talking about Ekiti State 2018 as we get ready for the gubernatorial election. You can see a lot of developments coming up from that part of southwest Nigeria. And of course, we're going to be talking about other issues relating to politics on this segment of the program. I'm very, very happy. I'm very privileged to have one of the PDP chieftain in Ekiti State live in the studios with me today. And of course, we're going to be talking about the situation in Ekiti State as we are. It's going to be a wonderful package. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Temitiope Aluko. He's a politician, well-known politician for that matter. It's good to have you on this program, sir.
Thank you, Larry, for having me on the show.
Okay.
And Nigerians in diaspora, hello.
They're saying hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Aluko, you've been a controversial figure for quite a while, though. And of course, a lot of people in the diaspora don't even know the face, but they've heard so much about the name. Tell us, what brought you into politics and what are you doing presently in politics?
Well, I came into politics because I looked at the whole scenario and I found out that majority of the people are running away from politics, and as such, they are not actually handling the resources of the state, and that is not helping the poor man on the street. So from the academics, I made up my mind, yes, I've done the gown, why don't I now go and combine the gown with the town in terms of politics in my state? That's why I'm in politics.
Fantastic. You're a very, very close friend and ally to the incumbent governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Ayodele Fayose.
I want to assume that was then.
That was then.
Yes.
What actually happened? I mean, you actually let the cat out of the bag on some issues relating to the elections, the past elections in Ekiti State. What prompted that?
Well, in 2012, I contested under PDP for House of Rep, and Fayose contested under Labour for Senate, and we lost out because there was this wind of change sweeping the country, sweeping Southwest as at that time. So we lost out. And then I sat back because in his first term, I was his chief advisor. I was the chairman government advisory capacity, that's like the chief advisor to him. Then I now sat down that the votes of PDP was actually divided because he was contesting under another platform. So myself with one right honorable Femi Bamishile, the former speaker of Ekiti State, decided that in as much as we have this man on the other side, we will continue to lose out to ACN. We now made up our mind, why don't we go and look for him, bring him back into the party? He has been in the wilderness for 8 years. Obviously, we need a platform like PDP for him to achieve his own objective. So we went looking for him. We went to Lagos, we went to Ibadan. We got him in 2012 to come back to PDP. We went around 177 wards in Ekiti with him, showcasing him as a returnee from Labour. After that, we secured the party for him. We went into Congress in 2012, and I came in as the secretary. Honorable Bamishile came in as the deputy chairman, and then we have Makonjola Ogundipe coming in as the Ekiti State PDP chairman. And then with that, we said we have the party, we have secured the party. Of course, the other side, belonging to Engineer Segun, now of APC, they were not too happy with that because it was a controversial state congress, as it is in court. And then, of course, they wanted to harmonize. They took us to court. We went as far as Abuja many times over before they decided to pull out of the party. After securing the party, Fayose, we said, okay, you want to go in as governor. We also have our own dreams and aspirations attached to you. So we allowed him to go in as governor. And we did, there was also another structure within the party. They were now saying that they will not allow a primary to be done in the party, that they will prefer a consensus. And of course, President Jonathan was almost towing that line until I came in and I said that the constitution of the party is supreme to whatever we are doing. And I said that based on this, we have the constitution of the party is saying there must be primaries. Once we have a dissenting voice out of the 13 gubernatorial aspirants, just one, they must go to the field. After that, we went to the field. He won the ticket, became gubernatorial candidate. From there, we went for election. I was the chief returning officer for him. I was also the chief campaign officer for him. After becoming the governor-elect, I was also the main man holding all the committees for him. I was even to be the governor-elect.
Let me cut in a bit. It was alleged that the election was rigged in 2014.
It was managed. The election was managed.
What do you mean was managed?
The election was managed because we have the federal resources and we have the federal power behind us. We went to the presidency, and because President Jonathan wanted to come in 2015, we sold the idea to him that if you don't secure the Southwest, then, and you know that these northerners, our brothers in the north, they are going to present a candidate in APC. Our only option is to make sure that we secure the Southwest. And for us to secure the Southwest, we are going to start with Ekiti election, Osun election, and then 4, 5, 6 months down the line, we now come to the general election. But if you secure Ekiti state election, then you are sure that you have an inroad into the Southwest. He bought the idea, and he asked us for our requirements, and we said that we just need security and funds. That's the basis of my talking at the end of the day, because there were so many lies. People were telling all sorts of lies. Innocent people were being incarcerated. Innocent people were being dealt with unnecessarily, and people were not actually facing the reality. And I saw that there is a major error in our democratic process in Nigeria. In as much as you have a CNC, you have a minister of defense coming from a particular area, you have another minister of police affairs coming from, that was Jalili, and then we have Obanikoro coming from that same particular area, and they are all friends. It's very easy for us to use our security apparatus to hijack the democratic process and put anybody we want to put in position. So you actually manage the election? So we manage the election. We manage it.
With a lot of funds? We
manage it.
But what actually happened between you and Dr. Ayodele Fayose?
He was not driving the Ekiti project well at all. Initially, when he became, from his becoming the gubernatorial candidate of the party to his becoming the governor-elect immediately after the election, he lost it. He now called everybody and he said, there is no more party, that he is the party. And the governor is just a member of a party, he's a product of a party. We were managing the party. We told him at that point that it is not right. It is not right, because that means you are saying that you are above the constitution that produced you. And we can't stand in and we can't stand by and allow that to happen. But he has his own way of doing things. And we said, we thought you have changed. If you have not changed, in fact, the deputy chairman pulled out at this point, went to another party. And then the chairman decided to go to Zona. He said he cannot stand it. He decided to go, and he's now the current Zona chairman. That's Honorable Makonjola Ogundepe. I was left with him, and I was the only one that had to now confront him. And I told him that if you are not ready to abide with what we have said, we have promised everybody. We went around all the states, we went around all the towns, we went around all the wards, and we have given them our word. You were never in PDP. You are not in PDP for 8 years. You are the one that were contesting under PDP. You are the one that you used our structure to come back to PDP. They have absolute belief in us. So if you are now coming with this your idea, we won't take it. And at the end of the day, when you look at this scenario as it is now, he came into PDP, became the governor, and after becoming the governor, he now used the PDP platform. Because Honorable Makonjola Ogundepe went into the zonal arrangement as the zonal chairman, he's still the zonal chairman now. He now decided to bring in a labor returnee as the Ekiti State PDP chairman in the person of Comrade Idowu Faleye. And I told him point blank that you cannot do that, because even as at the time we were contesting for the state congress in 2012, Honorable Idowu Faleye, Comrade Idowu Faleye, was not eligible, because you have to be 24 months. He was just 6 months old in the party. He was not eligible to contest. So how can you now, 2 years down the line, now bring somebody that was not eligible then to come and hold brief for us? That was the basis.
Is that why you let the cat out of the bag? How much was actually taken from the ex-president?
I said it on channels, and it was confirmed by EFCC. 4.7 billion, and that is what and I mentioned the names of those people, the three principal officers, the gubernatorial candidate for Osun in PDP, and then Honorable Minister was the conduit. He was not actually involved, but he had to pass the money from the presidency to the two gubernatorial candidates in the southwest. I mentioned them, and fortunately they have been to EFCC. The gubernatorial candidate of Osun is paying back. The gubernatorial, the former minister of state for defense is also paying back.
But the government initially denied that he collected money from Goodluck Ebele.
They called me all sorts of names now. They called me all sorts of names, but the truth is constant. The truth is constant, and I owe it. Even let me tell you, the major factor in my coming out was my daughter. Because at a stage he asked me, Daddy, is this the way you are going to be playing politics in Nigeria? Because he was there when we were harassing, intimidating, and pushing all this opposition into the bush, into makeshift detention camps. He was the one, and the presidency had good intention. Releasing the security apparatus for Governor Ayodele Fayose, they had good intention. It was supposed to secure and provide an enabling environment. It was not supposed to hijack the democratic process and turn it into a coup. And actually, after seeing that, you know, the vibrant children of today, they started asking questions everywhere. And I had no option than to come out, because they were also harassing people. One Captain Coley has been sent into unnecessary exile. He's now back. He gave evidence, and he's now a major, because he was a professional soldier to the core. I could remember a day before the election, he told everybody right there that he could gun anybody down when they were talking to his, 2 days before the election, when they were talking to his general anyhow. And he now said, because you are politicians, you are talking to my general, I can gun everybody down. I was standing right beside him. I stepped aside and I told him that you have to take it easy.
But how did you move such fund of money, such heavy fund of money, 4.6 billion?
4.7 billion.
4.7 billion.
Yeah, it was in tranches. It was in tranches. We used aircraft. It has been stated out by EFCC. Yes. They have done the investigation. We used the aircraft. We moved it three times to Akure. It was counted for about 1 week in the bank in Akure.
One can imagine that kind of money. Is it to win an election? 4.7 billion?
The intention, we had this Boko Haram problem. The intention was, we saw the idea that because of Kogi, we are sharing the border with Kogi, Kwara. We saw the idea that it is very easy for these people to come in and for the opposition to make use of them. And they have been infiltrating Lagos before that time. So it was easy to sell the idea. And then they allowed such funds to come in to a president that is looking to secure peace, stability in democracy. It may not be too difficult to release such an amount, but the most how will I put it now, unfair thing there is that Ayodele Fayose did not now use the money to secure peace. Did not now use the money to secure, even pay the security agencies. He now used the money to buy choice mansion in Lagos, in Abuja, and that's what led to EFCC tracing the money to such buildings at Matama Farmers Farm, Osun Crescent, Tiamiyu Savage in Lagos, and we are talking about $5.3 million buildings, you can imagine.
But as a politician yourself,
and most of our elders in the state were not aware of the funds. They were not aware of the totality of the funds. Some of them were still contributing. That was why you saw Senator Arishi getting very frustrated. They were still contributing to the war chest, let me put it in quote, to pursue the election. So they were not too aware of such funds. But because I started the Ayo Fayose from the scratch, bringing him back into the party and then getting him to be governor, and even I was the only principal witness after the governorship that went to the tribunal on his behalf, and I was in Abuja for some time, and then up to Supreme Court. I was the principal witness.
But if Ayodele Fayose was so popular in Ekiti State, you would have needed such money to win an election. He's a popular governor, isn't it?
Fayemi came before his time. Fayemi was okay, doing everything possible. He has this vision. He was futuristic. But in a state like Ekiti, they want food on their table. It's not to have this enabling environment only. They want food on their table. But Governor Fayemi was busy putting the enabling environment into place. He achieved a lot in terms of infrastructure and developmental projects. But to take care of the people, to allow them to understand him, that's where the whole thing went wrong. And Fayose now came in using what? Rice, 500 naira, 1,000 naira. Ekitis that we know them to be proud people, giving them such, because the vote of a professor is the vote of that man that is working aimlessly on the street. That's
so,
what
with all the professors that you have in Ekiti State, stomach infrastructure is in thing now. Can you tell me what stomach infrastructure is?
Yes. When you look at stomach infrastructure from Ayodele Fayose's point of view, which is a myopic one, he's saying that I will give you money. I will give you something to eat now. But from an average professor, from an average Ekiti elite, we will tell you that the totality of democracy is stomach infrastructure. When you give people the dividend of democracy, when you do a road from the capital to the suburb, to where you are produced, to the rural area where you are producing, where you have produce coming from, you get a better price. You get, when you get a better price in that place, the farmer will now have access to better tools. We have increase in his yield. We'll be able to now come up with more purchasing power to be able to send even his kids to school, to train him, to replace him when he's old. So the totality of democracy is stomach infrastructure. But Ayodele is getting it wrong. He is assuming that giving money to somebody on the street, going into a market and meeting somebody selling fish, you are now giving that person 5,000 naira. No, that's not stomach infrastructure. Okay. Because when you pay the salaries, he is behind now by 6 months. When you pay the salaries of the workers, it will get to all the 16 local governments in Ekiti. It will get to nooks and crannies of Ekiti. So you don't need to come to Ado to stay by the side of the road to be chanced and see the governor pass and then take 1,000. No, we are not that. When you do equitable distribution of the resources under your care, you are doing stomach infrastructure, and people will understand. You are bringing the dividend of democracy to their doorstep.
Okay. Recent reports has described your relationship with the governor as very sour this time. Was there an alleged threat to your life at some point?
Before I decided to come out and say these things, there has been like 2 attempts on my life. And sitting down, looking at it, I made up my mind that it's better for what I know and have within me to be in the public domain than for it to remain in me and die with me. And it is only when it is with you only that somebody can assume that when you silence that person, you are silencing it.
But we saw pictures that you took with the governor. You guys were embracing at a hotel, at a meeting.
I went for a meeting with the Southwest and the national leadership. Somebody told him that I was there, and he rushed down there. When he got there, he was calling me an APC person in the presence of the leaders, and of course I had to say my own mind too, my own bit to him. It was not a friendly thing. I walked out of the meeting. He was running after me. Go and check that thing properly. He was actually holding on to my shirt from the back, and my wife was nowhere to be found. I was also watching, because I don't need to put my wife and my family in the line of fire. I was watching, where is she? I was trying to get her. Why I was saying it over and over again, that I'm not here because of my revelation, that I'm here because of party, the party, and we are talking about peace. Because as at that time, the zonal leadership of Southwest and the national leadership, they were almost falling out with Governor Ayodele Fayose. And they saw in me the only person that can prop PDP up against him in Ekiti. That was why they had that meeting with me. And that is where I am still now. We call it authentic PDP. What we did at Eko Hotel with those leaders have metamorphosed now into authentic PDP in Ekiti State, where we have Williams Ajayi as the chairman of Ekiti State PDP.
Okay.
And we have Amadou Sherif. That's Senator Ali Amadou Sherif as the national chairman.
We're still coming back to that.
So it was that.
We're still coming back to that in a second.
And let me remind you, they were all in Governor Ayodele Fayose's sister's daughter's wedding. Niece now.
Okay. A
day before. So it was not, it was around very much around the Lagos.
We come back to that in a minute. We need to go for a short break now. We'll be right back. We still have interesting revelation in Ekiti State coming out on this program. And of course, we're talking about 2018 Ekiti State in Focus. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Aluko, a PDP shifting in Ekiti State, and we'll be talking about Ekiti State politics. Yes, what are the chances of PDP in Ekiti State come 2018? With all the challenges of you have Alibod Sherif, and of course we have McAfee on the other side. Will this bring down the popularity of that party in the next coming election?
Well, what I could just say is briefly is this. When you look at PDP as it is, we have Alimadu Sherif being the national chairman of PDP, and it has been confirmed by the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt. That's, I think, February 17th. And then in Ekiti, the Federal High Court also confirmed Honorable Williams Ajayi as the authentic chairman, state chairman for PDP. That was in Federal High Court on Justice Taiwo.
But the Fayose faction is for the McAfee faction.
Yes, that's Ogutuashi. He has a labor attorney named Ogutuashi as his own chairman for not PDP now, because we have just one PDP. And then that is the Williams Ajayi. But when you are looking at McAfee, Senator McAfee, a former governor of Kaduna State, you will agree with me that caretaker committee is alien to PDP constitution. Even the National Convention legally did not exist, did not hold. So if you are now still talking about McAfee and you are still talking about another PDP in Ekiti, then one is wasting his time. You find out that those voices against the national chairman, Amadou Sherif, Ali Modu Sherif, those voices against him are basically those ones that you cannot even place. Dr. Ayodele Fayose will tell you that he's speaking on behalf of the Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum. There's nothing like that. It's an association of governors. There's nothing like that in the Constitution of Nigeria. There's nothing like that as an organ of the party. Then some people will now tell you they are former ministers, and as such they are talking because on behalf of the Ministers Forum. They are just appointees of the executive. They don't have any organ like that in our constitution. There is nothing like that in the constitution of Nigeria. There is nothing like that in PDP constitution. What you have, they can be member and not more than 3. Once you have a sitting president, not more than 3 can join him as a member of NEC. Once you have a governor, not more than 3 commissioners, including the Attorney General of the state, can join him as a NEC, as a SEC member. So when you now look at Governor Ayodele Fayose saying this, you know that it's coming from an uninformed mind, because he should settle down and study the constitution of the party. The constitution of the party does not give room. There's no organ like a PDP. We have NEC, we have NWC, we have National Caucus, National Convention, SWC, SEC, State Caucus, State Elders Committee.
Will that affect the chances of PDP in 2020?
Let me now come back to that. What I'm trying to say is that when you look at the way he's going about, that's what brought in the differences between us. When you look at the way he's going about his things, and you look at the way I am going about my own things, I prefer to be more diplomatic and to allow intellectual capacity on the high side to come into it. I will look at the constitution, look at what is right. Not that I will just override the constitution and allow and assume that people must follow me. So, if you have a situation like that, what he has been practicing is not in line with the manifesto of the party in Ekiti State. And we have been telling people that the party is quite different from just a member of the party. A member. We have a leader. We have a leader in Ekiti, Senator Clement Awoyelu.
But by virtue of his position as the governor of the state, he is the leader of the party.
No, there's no such place in the constitution of the party. It was an aberration brought in by President Olusegun Obasanjo when he now said that as president he must be leader, then as governor you must be leader, because he was talking about resources, how to manage the party without making those big influential people to hijack the party. He had good intention then. But most of the governors that we now have, they are now carrying on with careless impunity. And that is why we have implosion in PDP. But now, Alibadi Sharif is saying, I'm going back to the constitution of the party. I'm going to stand by the constitution of the party. So where do you have the stakeholders fighting him? Who are the stakeholders? It is not the committee of chairmen. It is not the NEC. It is not. And then when you now come to Ekiti, the same thing holds in Ekiti. It is only the appointee of Governor Ayodele Fayose that are now having what is known as OMM, Oshoko Mass Movement. In his first term.
They're talking about Oshoko Mass Movement. Will that determine the next governor of the
That's what I am saying, that in his first term, he came in with Ayodele Fayose Movement. Ayodele Fayose Foundation and Movement. He lost out. So this OMM too is going to lose out because it is not in line with the party. OMM is not an organ of the party. PDP is going to produce a gubernatorial candidate via the constitution of the party in Ekiti. And we will all stand by that constitution and by that candidate.
But people in Ekiti State are saying that probably because you had a problem with the governor, that is why you're trying to antagonize. Is that correct?
No, it's not right. Let me tell you, if I have a problem with the governor, okay, I have a problem with the governor. Let's take TKO out. Let's take Dr. Aluko out. What about, he now used the PDP platform. The PDP platform that he came into existence in PDP in 2012 through us. In 2014 he was governor. He now used, between 2014 and 2015 December, he now used the PDP platform to edge out all the credible leaders of PDP. In his House of Assembly, 26 members, 18 are labor returnee. They are people from his area. I mean, his cronies. When you look at the House of Rep, all the 6 are labor returnees. It is only the Senate that we have 3 from the 3. Then when you look at his government, the commissioners and special advisors, out of 54, 38 are labor returnees. You find out that he has used the platform of PDP to buttress and empower his sycophants, and without recourse to names like Siri Fashuyi, to names like Arisha has gone to PDP now, to names like even Yinka Kerele has gone to APC now, to names like Biodun Aluko or Dare Bejide. When you are calling these names, these are people. Femi Bamishila has gone to APC. These are people that are known to have invested so much in PDP, and they are real core PDP. Now we have a weak OMM, people that are just coming in, they don't have the grassroots. And we are now talking about the core PDP with the grassroots.
But Governor Fayose is a grassroots man.
We made him a grassrooter. Because he met us there. They won't know him in Efon, for goodness sake. It is people in Efon like Benga Akoni, Afo Akoni, Olamide Oni, BC Kolawole. It is people there that they know, and it is when they say that this is our governor that the masses will come out and welcome him. So a grassrooter, you must have your ruler, you must have the middle level people managing the grassroots.
But the APC they're working strong at taking that seat back in Ekiti State.
We will not allow it.
Of PDP?
We will not allow it.
And
we will not allow it, yes. Because whether you like it or not, PDP is still firmly on ground there. They may be doing sit down look now. Sit down look, they are just folding their arms. But it is not you will not find them deflecting to APC. It is because deep down, we have done about 8 years in governance. So our leaders are strong on ground. We have empowered so many people. Most of the structures you see are PDP structure. So it is just for us to get it right. It is just for the people to understand that Ayodele Fayose is not PDP. He's part of PDP, but he's not PDP.
Why do you say so?
He's not PDP. He's part of PDP.
Okay. Let's go to this.
He's a product of PDP.
Governor Fayose,
because he tried it in Labour, he could not.
Yeah, Governor Fayose has been there for quite a while
in 2012.
Now. I mean, going to about 3 years now.
Yeah.
How can you rate his government so far?
That's PDP government.
Yes,
we are saying that partially. Yes, we are saying that partially we have been managing him. Partially we have been pushing him to do those things that we put our names on the sand of time, that we put our names in gold. We have been doing that, but where we have problem is when you go outrightly and turn yourself into an opposition leader when you are not. You are not PDP national chairman, you are not PDP PRO, you are not even the chairman of PDP Governors Forum. Why will you now jeopardize the interests of the masses in Ekiti? And you know that we rely so much on federal allocation. We are just coming up. We came into being in 1996. You can't compare us to Lagos State that came into being in 1967. So when you look at a situation like that, a governor must have the interest of his people at heart, not just his overriding interest, his own interest. For him to make noise and for people to hear his voice. No, it is for you to be able to attract those things that will make life meaningful for Ekiti sons and daughters. And those are the intervention. Recently is now crying that they have stopped this, they have stopped that. He is going to beg them for this. I now ask the question, when you are doing opposition leader, when you are not, an opposition leader should also be based on issues and not on personalities. You are not doing opposition leader for PDP based on issues. You are doing opposition leader based on Buhari, President Buhari. You are not contesting for the presidency. He just said it recently that he's the next president. Maybe that's why he has been attacking the president. But based on the PDP level, we know that we are supposed to provide the dividend of democracy for our teaming voters and for even the underage to come into our circle, and that is what we have been preaching. Okay. We are still going to take Ekiti.
Okay, if you look at the political climate of Nigeria, most of the governors, the two-term governors, always leave a successor. What's playing out right now in Ekiti? Who are the strong contenders?
Well, one thing I know is that Ayodele Fayose has mentioned somebody in December. He said his deputy will be his successor. But by January, he now said that no, because we have some people coming out under his roof, the Attorney General, the Senator, the current spokesman for the caretaker committee of PDP, and some other people coming up within his fold to say that they want to go for that seat. He now made a reverse and said that God will show him his successor again in October, when he will be 3 years old. He's now actually running away from taking a decision that can cause problem for him, because he cannot have a successor like that. It is second term, and when you are talking about second term, the core PDP are on one side. It is only his appointees that are with him. So his appointees can decide to now have their own gubernatorial aspirant. It can never be candidate in PDP. Why our own authentic PDP, we have our own gubernatorial candidate for the party under Alimodu Sheriff and Buruji Kashawa.
Okay, it was alleged that you were fraternizing with the AFCC just to get Governor Ayodele Fayose indicted. Is that correct?
No. When I made the revelation,
you made certain revelations.
yes,
to the AFCC.
when I made the revelation, of course, I was picked up by the security agencies. No country all over the world that somebody will talk like that and he'll be walking free. I was picked up by the SSS in Lagos. Flew. I was brought to Abuja. I was there for 14 days, where they took me on series of interrogation on tape. I had to put some down, did some court affidavit for them, to telling them that I'm sure of what I am saying. Immediately they released me. They released me to Inspector General of Police then. So I was in their custody for 10 days. By that time, by that time I've metamorphosed into a witness for the government, not APC. I've metamorphosed in a witness for the government.
But the APC is in power.
Why I am saying that is that it was not just an issue of politics. It was an issue of government money, government security agents, military generals were being retired, Lieutenant Collins, they were taking...
Were you paid by the FCC?
Paid?
No. You to give them information?
No. You know, this whistleblast thing was not in place then. Then they released me to EFCC. It was at EFCC. I was on bail from the police, from the SSS, and then on bail from EFCC. I still don't know. I'm still on bail from the three agencies. I still don't know whether they will still take me to court for any of those things now.
But you still have pending court cases, haven't you? Perjury cases.
No, that one has been dismissed because it was brought against me by Ayo Fayose using his Attorney General Owosheni Ajayi, and then they said I have a case of perjury, magistrate court. They took it to Inspector General. I filed objection to it at the Court of Appeal. They now brought another order. Order to go and arrest me anywhere they see me. It was at that point that the High Court in Ekiti, sitting in Ekiti, now dismissed the perjury case. And of course, my own case too, I got it clean. And so I am free as I am now from court cases. But then I am still on bail from the security agencies.
Fantastic. You're a PDP person. How will you describe the government of Muhammadu Buhari so far?
I will say that it could be better. I will honestly tell you that it could be better. But what we have on ground is that as an opposition person, we need to get our acts together. We need to strengthen the opposition to be able to put things right, and we'll be able to talk based on issues and not personalities. If you look at what is happening, it has not been around for some time. In my own culture, you don't use death to play with anybody. So it is not right. We should pray for good health for him. But 2 heads are better than 1. If people are saying that Oshubado as an acting president is trying, but I'm always saying that if we have President Buhari with him, then we have 2 good heads coming together, which is still better for Nigeria. So we should just pray for him to get well and come back to his duty post. But outside that, I will say that APC, PDP can do better, leaving out the corruption issue.
Okay, we're leaving out the corruption issue for now. We need to go for another break, and we'll be right back. It's getting interesting. Don't flip the dial. We'll be right back. Are you enjoying the program? I'm with Dr. Temitiope Aluko, chieftain of the PDP in Ekiti State, and we've been talking about Ekiti State in focus. Sir, how do you see General Muhammadu Buhari's policy on corruption, anti-corruption policies?
You know, it didn't start with General Muhammadu Buhari. It started with Jonathan. Even it started with Olusegun Obasanjo. Because we need to put things in proper perspective. It was Olusegun Obasanjo president that started ICPC, EFCC. But during Jonathan's regime, because one way or the other, the EFCC was weakened a bit. When we have Ribadu, was it Ribadu now? Ribadu was going at it and was working excellently well. But because of the propaganda, you know, there is a way corruption will fight back. Because of the propaganda and because I want to do second term, I can honestly tell you that when you have a civilian heading a government, the way he will address corruption may not be as hard as when you have a retired general or a retired military man. The way Buhari has addressed the corruption now is that even if my child is involved, pick him up. But then we have, this man is holding forth for me in a particular state. Okay, we cannot. The political will was not there. The same thing with the Boko Haram. It was now because we have a political will to go all the way. It's not as if the institutions have not been there. And now, I can say that when you look at the corruption war, it's really paying off. It's paying off because you have people now talking. You have people now coming up boldly to say that I know this man is doing this. And it's because the person will feel secured that nothing will happen to him. And when you now come back to Nigeria as a whole, we need to fight corruption because we have a lot of opportunities. God has ordained us with abundant resources.
Okay, let's talking about corruption now. What suggestion will you have for the government as a whole to have a free and fair elections in Nigeria? Look at the way things are playing out. Money is key in Nigerian politics and Nigerian democracy. And with that situation, can we ever have a free and fair election? Can credible people stand up for elections in Nigeria?
Yes. Very soon we are getting there. Because you now find out that people that have money but that are stained, people don't touch them again now. You find out that you want to come out for Senate, people will tell you no, you cannot, because they will stop you. People are now going back. It is no longer make money anyhow, come back to the village, we celebrate you. When you go back to the whole village is now a small world. Social media is there. People will now know that this person is a corrupt person, and they will no longer celebrate it.
But we saw the ex-governor that came back and was to get celebrated in the state.
That was because he still has that political strong will there. His boys, now men, are the ones celebrating him. You find out that an average Nigerian, the elites, they didn't say anything evil of him, but they were very careful in also celebrating him. That's what is happening now. And before, you find them lining up to celebrate him. When you come to the last election that was done on Saturday at Rivers, the security agencies, the intervention of security agencies were drastically reduced. That was because of what is now in place through the help of people like me. And then when you look at the INEC should be far removed. We need to still be able to empower INEC to be the INEC of Ataru Jega. The INEC of Ataru Jega will do an election, a conclusive election, and Ataru Jega will never run away from letting you know his position. And his positions are always based on the norms and value of his and ethics of his job. Even when in the presence of everybody, when some of us wanted to distract him, then he managed the person very well. And when you now look at the politicians, I think for us to have a credible, free and fair election, the politicians should know that getting to a particular position is a call to serve. It's a call to serve. So we should not take it as a do or die. Because Nigerians nowadays, they are rejecting people at the polls. So if you are rejected, or if you know that they are going to reject you, don't need to come all the way with everything that they must put you there. And lastly, we must now look at the, how will I put it now, the judiciary.
Okay.
The judiciary should not allow themselves to be dragged into the politicians' mud. This war.
Okay. Let's
We need to look at the
let's
fall.
round it up now because time is not on our side. Dr. Aluko, it's been a pleasure of being with you on
Thank
this
you.
program. But before we go, just the last one. Do you have an aspiration to be a governor in Ekiti State?
Everybody has dreams. You can hardly kill my dream, but then we will wait and study it well so that we can see whether we can actualize it. But if I'm called to come and serve my people, I will. But if I am told to support somebody to serve my people, in as much as you take the interest of my people first, I will also join you.
What will you now tell Ekiti State indigenous watching us, Ekiti State indigenous in diaspora watching us right now?
What I will just say is that they should stay connected to Ekiti by all means. Yes, they are in diaspora, but like we are reaching out to them, they should also reach out to us. They should come around and ensure that the elites in Ekiti take Ekiti to the next level. We should not leave it to people that will mess things up and they will now be defending their state out there. They should come and play the game and use the experience that they have gathered there to help in putting Ekiti to the next level. That's what I can tell.
But how would they come if there is no enabling environment for them to try?
That is why we are here. That is what we are trying to do. That is why even when you miss your step, we will tell you you are missing your step. And we are not afraid to challenge anybody.
Okay. Dr. Temitiope, Aluko, it's a pleasure having you on this program
pleasure
today.
is all mine.
I want to say thank you for giving us that honor.
Thank you,
We
Larry.
do appreciate you a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Viewers, it's been an interesting program. Hope you enjoyed it like I enjoyed as well. It's been a very good discuss with a man that knows Ekiti State politics so well, so much. He is Dr. Temitiope Aluko. Hope you enjoyed that bit. Keep watching Personality with Larry on Ben TV, the first ethnic satellite TV station in the UK.